What is up, everybody? A little bit of little hobby cage stuff. We got here a little, what is it, episode 168? I call it cash grabs. Can they actually be a good thing? I don't know. It's a good question. What the hell am I talking about? Well, let's talk about it for a second, right? It's funny. I had some great conversations about the manipulation and stuff that was going on in the hobby, or that I thought might be going on in the hobby, about the Star 101 and all that other fun stuff, right? And a couple of people raised the art market and other market, and does it bring eyeballs to it? Does it get more people to participate? You know, is a pump that doesn't have a dump? Like if people are trying to pump their own cards up, is that a good thing? And it has me thinking about some of the stuff that's gone on in the last couple of days in the space, right? We have the exquisite sales that just some of them it doesn't make sense, right? The fact that a ton of cards that similar copies are available for on eBay for pennies on the dollar all ended at the same price of $18,600, all pinned at that same price basically in the auction. Um, it just looks weird. You combine that with today's early release. The release is tomorrow. I mean, I think I had a notification on my calendar. Go and buy yourself a box or get into the draw and hope to get yourself a box of Topps Mercury, the Victor Wembanyama alien release that has 2 autos and all kinds of fun stuff. And it's amazing to see because they don't release till I think it's Wednesday at noon, but midnight on Tuesday, the day before, the breakers all have it already. And they have a lot of it. 50 cases here, 30 cases here, 100 cases here. There's a lot. And I mean, it's an interesting way to do it, right? I mean, it gets a lot of attention on it. It gets a lot of people, kind of like opening and, I like this, or maybe I should get into a break or that kind of stuff. And it's also a little risky, right? What if, a bunch of the really big hits are hit today? What if, the dual auto LeBron Wemby is hit today? That's one big chase that's gone, and a lot of the stuff is gone. And then it goes on sale tomorrow. I mean, the chase isn't there anymore. The big chase isn't there. I mean, do they really sell out at the $8,000 per box, which is what it costs? I'm hearing numbers all over the place. I'll never know. I don't work at Topps. I'm not a Fanatics employee. But one of the numbers I heard was 3,000 boxes of this. Could be more. Could be less. 3,000 boxes. Well, there's 3,000 boxes in every box / case, whatever you want to call it. Every box comes with 2 Wemby Autos out of 99 or less, one with a patch. And doesn't that mean that this week they're inserting 6,000 Wemby Autos into the market? I have a Wemby Auto. You guys know this. Ian and I pulled one from a pack and we're not selling it. But knowing what's going on this week and what we talk about here with supply and demand, if it was any other situation, if it was a card that we had pulled, if it was something we had bought, if it was literally any other situation than just, hey, we got it ourselves and one day we'll look at it and remember opening that box 5, 10, 15 years from now. If it was any other situation, I would be talking myself and my son into selling the card because the supply for Wemby Autos is about to drastically increase. There's going to be a lot of them. A lot. And yeah, I mean, I don't know that they go cheap, right? If you're getting 2 autos and $8,000 price tag, that's $4,000 an auto. I don't know that they all sell for that, obviously. People are going to be chasing the lower numbered ones and stuff. Plus, there's also other numbered cards and, interesting stuff. I got to say this, right? I like what they did putting in some old brands into it. Sticky Fingers. I saw the 2008 Topps Chrome, look with Wemby with the arms wide holding the balls. I saw some cool, alien print foil and stuff. I mean, they definitely tried here. And, it's definitely an interesting release. Is it a cash grab, though? Is that what it is? Because if you do some quick math, $8,000 or 3,000 cases, which we're just operating on, I don't know if that's accurate. That's $24 million. It's a pretty good day. Pretty good day. Is it bad though? Now go with me here. You'd like to think that more Wemby Autos out there make the Wemby Autos more accessible. And maybe the Bowman University ones that are base autos unnumbered, maybe the Chrome ones that are base ones unnumbered, maybe all of the other autos that are out there, they start to take a step down. You know, if you use a hobby word that has gained some traction in the last couple of years, hierarchy. Sure, if you're holding a Wemby auto now and there's this influx of supply, maybe that doesn't bode well for the value of the Wemby auto you're holding. But one of the big collector complaints, one of the big refrains that we've talked about with pricing and wax going up and prism boxes being, what they are. I'm certain that this was not the goal in printing an $8,000 box with two autos in it. But could it be an unintended consequence that other Wemby autos, maybe not these, but other Wemby autos become more attainable to a new collector? Follow me here. Let's say these Mercury ones become sort of like the creme de la creme. Call them the exquisite comparable, right? And the low numbered patches with nice patch autos become sort of like the Wemby RPA. I know there's other Wemby patches out there, but not rookie autos, not patch autos, right? And maybe they will be from other releases, but let's just assume at $8,000 a box and two autos, these are, high ones. And, you got your Sapphire, which are going to be high-end numbered autos and you name it, but there is that hierarchy of autos. And maybe an unnumbered non-jersey wearing, when he's in his jersey from France before he even played a game, call it like a draft picks kind of auto, the Bowman Chrome University autos that are not numbered, or maybe the Topps Chrome unlicensed autos that are, not numbered. Maybe they come down enough in price that for the holiday season, a dad or mom are able to buy their Spurs fan, Wemby fan son a Wemby auto. Now, probably not a Mercury auto, but maybe some of the autos, because of this downward pressure, because this increase in supply, maybe there is more demand out there for a Wemby auto that's just not being met because the prices are so high that people don't even come into the space and try to get one. And maybe by putting this super high-end product in that people are chasing, maybe the Topps Chrome stuff becomes more accessible in price. Maybe the hobby boxes become more accessible in price. I mean, I see the blasters for sale at Ace, and they're not that expensive. Maybe you have more people in there chasing this stuff. If the top autos are coming down in price, maybe the wax comes down in price, and maybe you're able to bring more people into the space. Possible? I think it's definitely possible. I think there's definitely a possibility of that, because right now, if you want a Wemby auto, it's expensive. So is it plausible that adding in another level on the top, while those cards are likely not accessible to a new collector coming in or someone coming in, but does adding in this new level at the top, this crazy chase, this breaker-based product, basically, right? Just putting that into the top, doesn't that move everything else down a peg? Now go with me. You could say that top should make something for kids. We've heard this before, right? You need a product that kids want to collect. Well, I've been to shows and I've talked to the collecting kids now. I've talked to the kids who are in this space. They don't want Chronicles. They don't want Big League. Hell, I put a lot of Anthony Richardson, cards together, a lot of CJ Stroud cards together, all rookies, 20 of them. Hey, you want this? $15. Nope. I just want the Prism. I'll take the Prism one out and you can keep the rest. I'll try to grade the Prism one. Really? That's it? Yeah, that's it. I don't care about any of these other ones. Not absolute. Doesn't matter. No. Don't want any of these cards. Just want the Prism. So those kids, the ones that we're allegedly defending here, the ones that we are saying, hey, you need to put something in at a price point here that kids can. Is it possible that they're doing this? Is it possible that they're filling this lower end by putting something else at the top and letting everything else get pushed down a little bit? Do what is now a mid-level Wemby, does that now become a lower level Wemby? Now, for the people who out there are holding Wembys, they're not happy about that. But is it possible that this is a way to actually grow the space, especially with this high-end? I mean, guys, if you're watching this, take a pause for a second. Hit the pause button on this. I'll be quick. I'm only going to do like 15 minutes today, but hit the pause button on this and go over and look at the Fanatics Live page on Instagram. Or just open your Fanatics Live app. They are pushing this early release. Like the release day is not for another day. It's more than 24 hours away from when I'm recording this. And yet so many boxes have been opened. So many pictures are out there. So many posts about it already. Look at this one. Look at this cool card. This guy's about to pass out. Why? I didn't see anything pass out worthy. But, this is what we throw around. Bang! Everybody gets paid. There's breaks. There's schmakes. There's cakes. There's all kinds of you name it. Isn't that attention grabbing? If and when the Wemby LeBron Superfractor dual auto gets pulled, doesn't that get a breaking news tag by everyone across the space? Probably myself included. Makes the news. Doesn't that become a little more mainstream? Doesn't that item then going to, Ken Golden or Fanatics Live, a Fanatics Collect or Heritage or wherever it goes, doesn't that card then become a news story in and of itself? And you see $1 million Wemby auto, $1 million dual Wemby LeBron. Doesn't that become a story? And maybe people start to come into the space. And I think that's kind of what we're all supposed to want, right? More people coming in. So is it possible that a product like this, which a lot of people are calling a quote cash grab, is actually a good thing? I don't know. We will see, right? I mean, if I were a breaker, I'd be a little nervous. I don't know, if the breakers knew how much of this was out there. I don't know, I mean, I'm not in the breaking world, but, it's a difficult product to kind of split up into accessible slices. I tried to look at how breakers were breaking this up. It's not like you could do a team or player. You can't pick your team, pick your player. It's just Wemby. I saw they're kind of, selling here, a couple $100 for the pack that has the base card in it. A couple $1,000 for the card that has the numbered card. So I think they know the slots, personal break for the whole thing, $9,000. Breaker makes a little bit of money. It's interesting to see this, right? It's a little different than kind of like your normal break. And if there's enough of it out there, it might be tough to have a breaker open this for you for $9,000 if you can just buy one yourself for $8,000 tomorrow. So, I mean, the product itself, it's a real interesting story. It's a real interesting kind of case study. It's also, I mean, in my DMs, people are sending me pictures of it and calling it glorified Leaf. I don't know if I go that far, right? I mean, Leaf is a non-licensed alternative to fully licensed products. For the NBA this year, there is not a fully licensed RPA for Wemby. There is not a fully licensed auto for Wemby. And obviously, a Wemby auto is a chase. You want to get a Wemby numbered card, there is a fully licensed Wemby numbered card, Like I would put a significant premium on the Prism Gold as opposed to a Topps Chrome out of 10. Because that Prism Gold out of 10 or Mojo out of 25 or, whatever you're going to do, that is league licensed, team licensed. That's everything, fully licensed, but it's not going to have the auto. So if you are a rookie auto collector, this is not Leaf. It is what you can get for him. And it does have, obviously, a player license to it, right? So, obviously it is authorized by the player. Doesn't say the word Spurs anywhere, and the jerseys don't say Spurs anywhere. So, you do have that. But honestly, from what I'm seeing from the space and from what I'm seeing Wemby Autos go for so far, it's good change. I don't think people care. I mean, this is what you have to buy if you are buying a Wemby Auto now. Same thing with Stroud. You want a Stroud rookie auto, it's not fully league licensed. It's an interesting thing. So anyway, you can call it a cash grab. Can it actually be a good thing? I think it might be. I can't wait to see what happens. I'm watching some of those, I don't want to call them lower level because there really hasn't been a low level Wemby, entry level Wemby rookie auto yet. And I'm wondering if instead of coming up with a product that nobody really wants to open because there's no huge chase in it, if doing the exact opposite fills that gap, if putting in something way up top just pushes everything else down. I'm curious about that. I guess we'll see what happens. And on the heritage auction stuff, I mean, I could talk about that. I'd be a little careful about the space, right? I'd look at the auctions that are outside of certain small items that everybody is kind of talking about and see what the rest are doing. I put a post up of a Lou Gehrig PSA 5 that sold in Fanatics Collect this weekend that sold for $9,900 all in. And at first I'm like, wow, that's a terrible sale, right? But of course, everybody out there wants to, they have their opinions, they have their comments, and it's fun to read the messages on it. It was definitely thousands of dollars lower than the last two sales, but there were other sales, this year that were right in line with it. It was, slightly below the average sale for the last year. Some folks thought it was not the greatest center. That's the thing you have with like vintage, right? There's eye appeal, there's all kinds of stuff. I would look at the heritage stuff. Obviously, there was attention being paid to the exquisite stuff. Someone graded their entire non-graded exquisite collection. Some of these cards were like the highest graded there have been. That Jordan numbered piece, I bid on that. It was a huge sale, but it's because PSA slab, which people put a premium on for those kind of cards, thick cards are harder to get high grades. That was the highest grade on it, PSA 9 with a 10. So there's a premium put on that. There was a Kobe which was the only one with a 10-10. 10 card grade, 10 auto. That's going to sell for a premium. The Garnett was his jersey number. That was a hell of a premium for the jersey number, but, there are outliers. Some of the stuff looked beyond outlier, but I like to take a look a little bit, further down. And I ask you guys, maybe put it in your comments. Have you sold your own cards that are not exquisite with a 10 grade and a 10 auto, that are not the creme de la creme? Have you tried to sell any of your cards? What have you got for them? Have you gotten offers for your cards? Is it harder to sell your cards? Have you put your cards in auctions and been disappointed? Because, if we were using the scientific method here and I was throwing out my hypothesis for, for what I think is going on out there, my hypothesis is I think that 99% of cards are not doing well. Maybe 95% of cards are not doing well. I think the space has evolved into pack ripping, breaking to try to hit a jackpot. And there's a lot of money that goes into that. That's sort of, scratch off lottery ticket kind of stuff. There are some collectors out there that just want the cards that they want. They're few and far between. And I think that there is a significant kind of high-end market that just, you don't need too many people. When you're chasing black one-of-ones or chasing gold cards, the cards could sell for a lot of money because there's not that many of them out there. So, I mean, it's an interesting space. It really is. It makes you think about what you own and whether or not it's something that is the right thing to own from an investor standpoint, from a valuation standpoint. There are a lot of people out there, I know my audience, a lot of people out there who are collectors of cards that just listen to me because, I try to get my finger on the pulse and try to talk about, collecting also, not just about the, the money that's flowing in and out, right? And there are people out there who are just like, I like my cards. I like my, my 90s baseball cards that no one else collected, my non-numbered inserts. I like my hot gloves. I still have my hot gloves. Now, I keep those because I like them. I keep those because they remind me of collecting as a kid. They were the cards that I enjoyed. But if I took my Bleecker Trading hat off, sponsored by Bleecker Trading, My Slabs, and by Arena Club. If I took my Bleecker Trading hat off for a second and put a different hat on, I don't know, look, put on a winter hat. A little double coverage. Check those guys out. My favorite crew from Australia. If I put my winter hat on, my different hat, my investor hat, maybe I'd be selling my hot glove cards and trying to buy something else, something that is rarer, something that, has the potential to really go up in value. There's a lot of people in the hobby that's what they're trying to do. Can't fault it. Do whatever you like. Have fun. I'm excited to watch this Topps Mercury stuff go on here, guys. I really am. It is. I remember when 03 Exquisite came out. I was working in a law firm a block and a half from Wall Street, and there was a card store called Chameleon Cards and Comics. It was on, I believe it was on Maiden Lane. If it wasn't on Maiden, it was on Liberty. I think it was on Maiden Lane. 99% sure. And I used to take lunch from the law firm I was working at and walk up there and watch the stockbrokers come out and open up Exquisite 500. I think they were like $750 for a box, if memory serves. And I remember people saying, "That's crazy! How do you pay so much for a box? That's insane! Oh my God, that's ridiculous! This is going to be the end of the hobby. This is going to be the end of the space. You're chasing kids out of it." Now it's $8,000. I'm sure they're going to sell out. It'll be fun to watch. I'll talk to you guys soon. Let me know what you think, right? Is this just a straight cash grab? Is it really just, glorified Leaf? Is it something you're interested in? Are you planning to maybe get on eBay and, pick off some of the, the non-numbered cards? Are you going to snipe in breaks? I know a couple people told me they do this. They stay in the Fanatics Live and someone breaks a box and they hit something and it's not what they want. They'll message them and say, "Hey, that base Wemby numbered out of 35. What do you want for that? I'll give you some of your money back, from the break. Sell it to me and you can just go again." Interesting stuff. This is not my way of hobbying, but I know it is for a lot of people. I know it is for a lot of younger people, and it's fun to watch, just a different way of doing it. So hope you enjoyed this, guys. Remember, Bleecker Trading. We got a Pokemon event coming up on October 14th. Kids are off from school, so go over there. I think it starts at noon. My Slabs auctions every Friday. Take a look at My Slabs auctions, low fees, you name it, great cards. And Arena Club, they are doing their slab packs. So try a slab pack out, and I'm pretty sure I got Cage as a code for you if you want. It's on my page. I post about it all the time. Talk to you guys soon. Hope you enjoyed this. Take care, everybody.